Good morning. It is Monday, November 11th. Coming at you on a nice brisk morning. It's about 30 degrees. Here from Peters Mountain Shelter. It's just north of, just trail north of Duncannon, Pennsylvania, about 12 miles, something like that. Yeah, this is a really nice shelter, actually. Probably sleeps about 20, at least 20. Yeah, this is a nice shelter. Got a nice outside deck here. Ooh, give you an idea of just how big it is. And it's got this nice loft up here. That's where I slept last night. And I actually up here I strung up my my tent because it was pretty windy last night. And I strung my tent up on this sort of banister here to block the wind. But yeah, this is a nice one. Oh, and then this morning, of course, I wake up this morning and I don't know if you can see. I wake up and I walk over here and there's a drop tarp there for the wind. Didn't even notice it because I pulled in last night or yesterday after sundown, maybe like 6:30, something like that. And I just didn't notice it. It's black. But yeah, thanks to the Susquehanna Appalachian Trail Club. You guys did a real good job here. This is a nice one. Yeah, but I'm feeling good. Proud to announce this is November 11th, so I guess it would be 10 days blister free. Man, I just can't express how happy I am to say that. It seems like I finally figured out the situation that works for me. The combination of these liners and these new insoles, it really has just kind of changed the hike. It allows me to sort of do the miles that I want to do and that my legs can do. So yeah, with that sort of new ability, I've really been moving over the past few days. I think I did the math yesterday and I've done over 70 miles in the past 3 days. The last time I checked in, I was leaving Eckville Shelter and I was aiming for 24 that day. I actually passed Eagle's Nest that day. Because it got dark before I got to the side trail for the shelter, and it was like 0.3 to the shelter, and I saw there was a campsite a few miles further, and I was still feeling good. So I just pushed on and went to the campsite. And plus here in PA, sometimes you'll go to these shelters and the spring or whatever water source they have there just doesn't have water. So I didn't want to risk walking off trail and not find water. So yeah, I pushed on that day. I ended up doing like 26 or 27 that day. Then I did another 20 plus day yesterday, or the day after that, and then another 20 plus day yesterday. Yeah, but that day out of Eckville, let me go ahead and put this to rest before there's any controversy. And I kind of feel bad because I wrote about the big black cat in that log at Dan's Peak. People are probably going to be scared about that. But about 30 minutes after the last update I did, leaving Eckville, I see the black cat again. And this time, instead of running away from me in the woods, it's running at me on trail. And it is not a black cat. It is like what appeared to be like a 6-month-old jet black lab or lab mix. Looked like a lab. But yeah, it was still kind of ran like a puppy, which is probably why I thought it was a cat when it was running away, but it had a long tail and was still sort of light in the rear end. But anyway, yeah, it comes running up to me, and there's a couple of local guys that were out hiking, and I just started laughing when the dog ran up to me and ran back to the owners, and then we sort of crossed paths, and I said, "Were you guys by any chance out hiking yesterday afternoon?" And north of here, trail north of here, and one of the guys said, yeah, me and the dog and I were out yesterday afternoon for an afternoon hike after the rain on a loop trail near the AT, and I just laughed. I was like, you don't understand how freaked out I was for a bit yesterday, because I thought for sure I saw a big black cat running through the woods. I guess the dog probably heard me crunching down the AT and ran over from the other trail through the woods, saw me, and then ran back, and I saw it as it was running back, and then never saw either the hiker or the dog again for the rest of the day. So before we could even open the X file on that one, it got closed. And then, later that day, I got my first bit of snow for the season. It snowed for about 30 minutes around noontime, about 12:30 to 1 o'clock as I was up on the ridge. Nothing that stuck, but yeah, it's getting to be that time of year, and I don't know if it's going to get warm again, which is fine. You know, I have what I think is a bit of an advantage over a lot of the southbounders that are well behind me now. I sort of passed the late southbounder bubble, which I don't even know if you'd call it a bubble. It's like 5 hikers, not even 4 hikers. Yeah, I feel like I've got a little bit of an advantage over those guys, because they're sort of starting to worry about colder weather and how they're going to handle it and whether their gear is going to hold up. I know my gear is going to hold up because we dealt with some pretty bad conditions earlier this year in March and in early April down in Georgia, North Carolina, and in the Smokies. So yeah, I'm not too worried. Staying optimistic. I know I'm going to see snow eventually. Hopefully I can make it to Virginia before then, which is pretty likely. I plan on going into Duncannon today. I'm doing about that 12 into Duncannon. I'm going to check in at the Doyle. My mom sent a care package there, so I'm going to pick that up and check it out, and I'm going to go over to Rite Aid and get some Epsom salts. Oh, and I'm going to get some cash back too. So people who are preparing for a thru hike, I know you'll all in your research realize that you need to carry some cash on trail. Well, one thing you don't think about is ATM fees, because the particular bank that I bank with, you rarely see that bank in these smaller towns. So using ATMs in different places really adds up. So it becomes really important and advantageous to recognize places where you can get cash back, and pharmacies are usually like that. So part of my sort of plan today is to hit the Rite Aid, get those Epsom salts, and get some cash back, because I'm all out of cash, and I need a little bit more going forward. I need to have some going forward. So I'm going to do that and kick it at the Doyle, sort of rite of passage. Looking forward to it. Heard a lot of stories about the Doyle. A lot of people are sort of critical of them because I don't think the building has air conditioning, and people go through here in the heat of summer and sort of sweat their butts off. But I will be very happy to have a bed and a roof, and a package from my mama. Oh yeah, thank you guys very much. I've been really feeling the love from my family and from my fellow hikers, Lady and Slip and DB, you guys putting me up. And I've got my boss, Marion, who works out of Boiling Springs, is gonna kind of hook me up as I'm going through this part of PA. I'm really feeling it. Really feeling the added motivation from you guys helping me out. getting those little added, I don't know if you call it assistance, but just what would you call it? Yeah, just assistance or trail magic. We'll call it trail magic. Getting that trail magic from you guys lets me know that you're like rooting for me, and it motivates me to keep going. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate that. See, I'm going to check my mom's mail drop out and just kick it. Oh, and my Bucks. I didn't even realize it, but my Bucks are playing. They didn't play yesterday. They're playing Miami tonight on Monday Night Football. So we still don't have a win yet, but man, I will be happy to be in a town and be able to see them get their first win. Hopefully that can occur. You know, it's unfortunate we got some injuries, but you know that happens every year. But looking forward to watching my team play tonight. And then yeah, my Marion's gonna come pick up my my gear tonight or this evening and take it back to Boiling Springs with her, and then I'm just gonna keep my hiking clothes and I'm gonna slack pack tomorrow the 26 miles from Duncannon to Boiling Springs, and then she's gonna put me up tomorrow night. So pretty excited. I've got 2 nights in a row that I'm gonna sleep indoors and warm in a bed. So, or maybe I don't know if she's got a bed or a couch for me there, but doesn't matter. It's indoors, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, and then from Boiling Springs, I'm thinking maybe a week to Harper's Ferry. Getting there, moving along. Trying to think of what else to update on. Yesterday. So I'm hiking along yesterday, and it's about halfway through my day, maybe a little under half. But I start to see a hiker up ahead, and I can see a big beard, and I knew it had to be a thru hiker, and it was a new thru hiker. Well, a hiker that I didn't recognize that I've been hiking around. Get a little closer. Who else is it? It's Jabba, one of the warrior hikers that I met on day 2 down in Georgia, who's up here finishing a section that he had to skip earlier this year. He actually finished his thru hike. He finished his thru hike, and he was telling me that 4 of the 14 warrior hikers this year were able to complete a thru hike. He finished his hike, but had to skip the section for some reason or another, and he's out finishing it now. Section from like Duncannon to Greenwood Lake, New York. But yeah, it's so funny to see him. We both just laughed because he and I have had so many chance encounters on trail this year. By far, he and I, at least for me, I've had the most chance encounters with that hiker more than anybody else. I mean, I met him in the beginning, hiked with him in the beginning, saw those guys again at trail days, and then while I was working in New England, I think I saw him in Connecticut. I know I saw him in Vermont, and then it only makes sense that now I see him as I'm heading southbound, finishing my thru hike, and we sat and chatted, and his beard's looking nice and big. A couple of weekend hikers passed by and had to stop and make comments on the fact that we were both rocking some pretty sizable and impressive beards. So yeah, he's got a pretty large and in charge beard going. His is a little bigger than mine because he's just let it ride since March. Me, I kind of had to trim mine up while I was working and kind of make sure I was looking presentable. But since I started in Maine, it's just been runaway beard. So I'm interested to see what mine's going to look like come the end of the year. But yeah, we sat there and hung out, had a snack. You can tell he's got it all figured out because as I passed by, he's eating a Snickers bar, dipping it in peanut butter, and eating his Snickers bar. But Yeah, those day hikers or weekend hikers came by and gave me some good news. They said, they asked which direction we were headed. I'm headed south. Job is headed north. They said, well, you, pointing to me, said, you're done with the rocks. And pointed to the job that said, you're just about to start the rocks. So I guess I've completed the rocky section of PA. I don't really feel it was all that bad. It's probably got to give a little bit of the credit to the fact that I have like high ankle boots. And by the time a lot of the thru hikers get up here, they're wearing like trail runners and they don't really have that great ankle support. So, you hear stories about how it'll kill your ankles and things like that. So I've got these boots, and I think that sort of helps me out with it. The fact that there's just not a lot of up and down makes it just not as bad. So yeah, I'll take hike up out of town and hike on a ridge over, the very steep up and down kind of trail any day, at least for ease of hiking. Yeah, I mean, you just sort of get out and, pay attention to the trail and just walk. So yeah, that's what's up. Oh yeah, there's a I saw on Facebook, Rainbow Bright. A lot of you will remember from my update that I did when I went down to Trail Days about the incident that occurred during the hiker parade. Well, Rainbow Bright is one of the hikers who was an unfortunate victim of that incident. She's out finishing her thru hike right now. So way to go, Rainbow Bright. And she's just left a couple days ago from the Water Gap, and she's doing the Northern 100 of PA, and then she's on to Virginia. So you never know, maybe I'll run into her, maybe not. I think she's got a significant amount less miles left than I do, because she was able to get some of Virginia done already. But yeah, looking good, feeling good about the future and about a day in town and kind of kicking it. It's funny that I'm considering a 12-mile day in Nero now. All right, guys, I will check in with you later. Bye.